Почитувани спикери, почитувани учесници на овој вебинар, кој што е организиран дел од Националната платформа за женско претприемништво, би сакала да ви се заблагодарам што сте дел со нас денес и се надевам дека овој вебинар ќе ни биде еден интересен почеток со кој што ќе ви биде забавно, ќе научиме нови практики, ќе се научиме што е тоа што го нудат жените претприемачки организации во Европа и на некој начин ќе се инспирираме за да направиме нешто подобро и во нашите организации или во нашата работа секојдневно. Би сакала да ви кажам дека нашите говорнички ќе зборуваат англиски, затоа и ќе менуваме малку на македонски, малку на англиски. Се надевам нема да ви биде проблем. Вебинарот ќе се снима, тоа значи дека подоцна ќе имате можност за тие кои што не сте успеале да го погледнете подоцна на нашите канали и истовремено нели сите презентации ќе бидат споделени. Dear panelists, sorry for the short introduction in Macedonian languages. I just wanted to say to the audience that we are going to switch from Macedonian to English and vice versa. And of course, I made a short introduction why it is important such webinars to be shared and to be recorded for the audience that is not at this moment don't have possibility to see it, to share it, to see it and watch it afterwards. And in the same time, I was sharing that it's really interesting that we are having you on behalf of your organizations and companies today with us, and that you will have possibility to share with them, not only inspire, but maybe motivate them in the further things that they are doing. I will not take a lot of time, but at the beginning, I just wanted to share short, let's say it's a presentation about the things that we are having and why we are doing such kind of webinars. As you know, the name of the webinar it is Women Entrepreneurs Striving Together with the Support of the International Organizations, which is organized by our National Platform for Women Entrepreneurship. I will have more time to speak on the end about the platform and how you can become part of the platform. Of course, I will share all of the other activities that we are doing, so you will have lots of possibility to be part of it. When we started thinking about the webinar, because this is the first webinar that we are organizing on behalf of the National Platform, we were talking with our colleagues that it's really powerful knowledge, the women entrepreneurship. And of course, when we try to recognize it, we are finding in the sector itself, which means that it's really important to be present and to share the experience and expertise of the collaborators of the National Platform for Women Entrepreneurship, which is working in Europe. And through the various initiatives, we want to be motivated and they to inspire you in your successful practices. So this webinar is going to be exactly the same thing, which we were already talking, the topic of the women entrepreneurship and the successful practices through an interactive conversation, which means that our presenters are going to share a couple of presentations, but you will have more time, of course, to write questions if you're having for them in the chat. And they will share about the path of successful woman entrepreneur. You will see that it's not always only about the success, but it has as well failures and challenges. So we are really happy that they will talk about as well those challenges and the things that they needed to overcome just to be where they are now. And regardless the circumstances and quick adaptation and constant learning, we know that it's always really required to have the network, and it's always really important to have the people that are going to stand by you. So through this webinar, we will find what it takes for success and long-term advancement in the field of the women entrepreneurship. And we will offer excellent opportunity for networking, peer learning, sharing of good practices, just in order to improve effectively what is given to the women entrepreneurs. Before I give the floor to the participants, I want to share that this is the first peer learning webinars, because we're going to have a series of the webinars, which is going to take place next year. So the national platform is implemented by the Foundation for Management Industrial Research from the organization where I work in, together in partnership with the Association of Business Women and Chamber of Commerce of Macedonia. I had the opportunity to have amazing ladies with me today. Shortly, I will share a couple of backgrounds for them, and I'm sure that they have lots more to share. So the first speaker is today Serena Bonfanti. She's a part of the board of the directors of APID, and she's the co-founder of Bonfanti company. Since March 2008, Serena started to work as an entrepreneur. Together with her sister, she's representing the third generation of the company Bonfanti, which is a family company that is producing really high-level buttons in Italy, starting from 1946. She was part of the board of the directors of API Torino, which is an organization that has more than 2,000 companies in the region of the Piedmont. But in the same time, she was as well part of the board of the young entrepreneurs in API. And until now, she's already 8 years part of the board of the directors of APID, which is an organization for women and in the same time for small and medium companies, which has already 350 women that are leading their own companies. Serena is actively involved into the activities of APID, and she is as well representatives of her organization on European level. The second one that is going to speak today is Ombretta Pelleri. She's the co-founder and also a partner in the BioLeader company. She's part of the board of directors in APID. She's always somewhere to represent and to share what are the benefits of women entrepreneurship. She's always trying to raise the awareness about the corporative responsibilities for the companies, and she's always staying next close to the women to inspire and to motivate them in the leading positions. She's a biologic and she's now working in the Italian company where she has a wish to become entrepreneur, and that's why she started working in this field. Her company BioLeader is a company that has lots of different kind of support which is offered for the companies, from consulting to analyze, and her position in the company as well includes management, design, but in the same time she has a role of the consultant for the bigger companies. The third speaker today is Jolima van den Berg-Mortel. She is the co-founder of the International Creative Woman. Interesting it is that she's born in Colombia, and at this moment she's in the Colombia, which means that sorry Jolima, we try to wake up her really early because now it's 4 in the morning in Colombia. She's an entrepreneur more than 20 years, and she has business in different countries. She knows all of the steps for starting a business in the foreign countries. She's helping the women entrepreneurs which wanted to open a business by providing them support, advices, informations, and in the same time she is the co-founder of the International Creative Women organizations that is providing support for the women entrepreneurs in Netherlands. International Creative Women is trying to provide integration for the women, and in the same time it's like always supporting them in the way for easier communication, faster learning, and in the same time to grow their companies. They are not working only on the corporate level, but in the same time supporting themselves as well on the emotional level. I will stop my presentation here, and I will give the floor to Serena to open her presentation and in the same time to share her amazing experience with all of you.
Okay, hello everybody. Can you see my presentation? Right. So first of all, thank you, Emilia, for your nice introduction, but also thank you for having invited us to this seminar, because it's a pleasure and an honor for me to be here with you with the intention to share with you all my personal experience as a part of a women association that is APID, and also as an entrepreneur. In these moments, in these 10 minutes that I will have with you, I would like to give you the most important information on what is APID is doing and which kind of association is. And between all the projects that APID is implementing or has been implemented in the past, I selected the 2 projects because actually those are projects that are running. Those are projects on which we are devoting energies, and also are the two projects in which I'm personally involved. So that's why I selected those, but those are really a very small part of the activities that APID is implementing. So here we are. First of all, what does it mean, APID? APID in Italian means Association of Small and Medium Enterprises. So when we are talking about APID, we are talking about enterprises belonging to several economical sectors, all of them, from the textile, food, industry, automotive, whatever you think, starting from micro company, going to medium company. So this gives you the flavor of how many topics, how many issues the association is able to deal from a legal point of view to a more practical and commercial and marketing point of view. APID itself that counts 350 members, so they are all companies led by women, is part of a bigger group that is named API. API again means Association of Small and Medium Enterprises, that in Piedmont, the region in which APID has been founded in 1989, counts approximately 1,800 companies. But APID, so for the women, and API for a more general association of companies, they both belong to a bigger and national confederation that is called CONFAPI. CONFAPI counts approximately 100,000 members. So you can imagine the power that the confederation has on a national level, also because, again, is covering all kind of sector, all kind of economical sector. As Emilia told you, I am Serena Bonfanti. I am an entrepreneur. With my sister Chiara, I am the third generation of a family that started to produce buttons in 1946. So it's quite a long story made with difficulties, some success, some failures. And now it's my turn with my sister to continue this tradition. And actually is a very big deal for me. How I decided to proceed with this adventure. I decided to do that having some partners, some help, some friends. And for me, APID is this kind of help. So for this reason, I entered in the APID board. It's almost 8 years that I'm involved in APID activity, and we have been doing really a lot of projects. The main aim of the association is really not, we cannot summarize it in one single sentence. Here, I try to give you some points on some ideas on which APID is trying to work in order to help the women entrepreneurs, So, for example, as Emilia said also at the beginning of this webinar, it's important for an entrepreneur to be in constant learning. We never stop learning. So that's why for the first point, I decided to put professional training. APID is always organizing and supporting the entrepreneurs, providing them with always new training courses, starting from marketing strategies to go again to how to deal with legal issues. Because as you know, because you are all entrepreneurs, we need to be able to tackle with every single issue. Then we can have the consultants, but at least we need to understand what is going on in our own company. Another very important point for APID is what we are doing right now, is to establish network, is to establish connection between entrepreneurs. So not only at the national level, but also an international and the European level. So, for example, APID is part of the assembly of WeGate. That is a project in which we devoted a lot of time and energy because we strongly believe in the importance to be active at the European level. And then we go to also activities more focused on how to start up a business, how to implement a business, how to support women in be more close to policies, in order to adapt policies that are more inclusive, that have a more inclusion aspect rather than in earlier ages. So now let me give you some example on the project that APID is normally implementing. Digital is one of those. Is a project that has been awarded before the COVID pandemic. It's important for me to tell you that because the general objective of this project was to shorten the gap between the entrepreneur from one side, but also to the girls, student girls, to what is the digitalization and what is the digital transformation that all of us, both as person, but also as entrepreneurs, we need to tackle with a lot of importance and attention. So before the pandemic, the Turin Chamber of Commerce, with the Department of Digitalization of the Chamber of Commerce, and with the Committee of the Women Entrepreneurs, they co-founded this project that APID awarded. So the specific objective of this project was to enhance and to improve the digital skills of the entrepreneurs, but not only. It was also the one to encourage the girls, students, so the girls that are still students, to start to be more familiar with all those subjects that are dealing with a digital transformation and a digital career. So the beneficiaries were two of this project. From one side, we had the entrepreneurs from micro and small and medium enterprises. And the second one, they were the students. So in these slides, for example, you see that we had 20 business women that were beneficiary of this project. We organized for them through consultancies, training courses, practical training courses in which we demonstrate them how is important to start to think also about the production process of their company in a more digital way. When we talk about digital, we are not talking only about the social network, but we are also talking about management. And believe it or not, but during a weekend with a consultant, those 20 women entrepreneurs, most of them realize that there is a lot to do for them in order to start to be a more digitalized company. So it has been an awareness project for them in order to give them the chance to realize that there is a lot to do in their own company. And actually, it has been helpful for me too, because there is a lot for me to do in this sense as well. The second beneficiaries, as I told you before, they were students. APID invited all the school in all Torino area. And then five of them belonging to several backgrounds. I mean, they were something belonging to engineering subjects, some other belonging to graphic and marketing subjects. So the school, they were belonging to different sector. 5 of them replied. And at the end, 100 girl student, they decided to participate to this project. They had to imagine a new possible business. They had to prepare a pitch about this new possible business. And then they had to present it on a jury. And at the end, one of them, they awarded the possibility to share their business idea with people, with stakeholders coming from different economical sector of Torino. In this slide, I wanted to summarize again and give you which were the phases of this project, which were the activities and the output. I don't want to go through it because it might be too long, but this is just important for you to give you the flavor of which were the activities that we studied and we implemented. And let me tell you that this project has been done such in a good way that we awarded an award. we received a nomination and we received a present from a network of social inclusion in Madrid, in Spain, that they thought that our project was one of the best in terms of business entrepreneurship and inclusion. So we are particularly proud of this award and this result. Here again, there are some numbers in terms of which were the beneficiaries and the benefits for the people, for the students, and for the companies that participated to this project, but also in terms of numbers. So how many people participated to this project? I think it's always very important to give indicators, numbers, just to really give to all of you the possibility to touch in some way, which is the result of all this project. The other project I want to share with you, and I will be very short, is a winner project. This is the name, is a project that is still running, is a 30 months project. It will end in 2024. Again, is dealing with activities able to help women entrepreneurship, but in a particular range of age, from 35 to 55 years old. Women that they want to reinvent themselves, or people that they need to do something for enrich to their ongoing business. So here we have a group of new potential women entrepreneurs. Some of them, they are working in other business and they just want to dream about the possibility to reinvent themselves. Some of them instead, for the pandemic and for COVID, maybe they lose their job. So they are now in the situation to reinvent themselves. So 2 tutors, 1 mentor. I am the mentor. I'm the person that they are trying to help these women through let's say a very logic methodology to give them which are the most important aspects that should be taken in consideration by a new potential entrepreneur. Let me tell you something, that the first time that we met each other, we shared a picture in which there was a woman, and inside this, beside these pictures, there were a lot of description on how these entrepreneurs should be, which should be the characteristic of this entrepreneur. Well, a lot of them, they sounded to me like a superhero, but the entrepreneur, they are not a superhero. We are human beings. So in my opinion, my rule, it will be with these future entrepreneurs to help them to realize, first of all, that they are not alone. They need to build around them a system, a network. They need to be, let's say, engaged in something that will help them to do a step-by-step the development and the implementation on their own business idea. So I would like to tell you, I cannot say how many things about our project, but it should be too much. Thank you for your attention. This is our contact details. You can find us on social, and we might be very, very happy to answer to your question, but also to share with you other best practices, projects, idea, in order to do something together in the future. So thanks a lot for your kind attention. And I give the floor to the others.
Thank you very much, Serena. I would like to ask you, if you have some questions, you can post it in the chat, so we can use the time as well to ask Serena. If you don't have question now, maybe we can collect the questions on the end when the rest of the panelists will finish. We will continue now with Ombreta. Ombreta, I will give you the floor to you. You can share the presentation and of course to share all of the experience and expertise you're having with us.
Hello, everybody. Thank you very much, Emilia and Serena, for this invitation. I'm very proud to be here, very honored to be here today with you. Can you see my presentation I share?
We can see, you can click as well, so we can see it, the whole presentation to be visible.
Okay, it's okay.
Just down on the right side, you can click on the glass, which is.
Oh, sorry. A moment.
No worries.
Okay, we tried before, but
it happens.
It was not so. Okay, a moment. Okay, we can try again.
It's very.
What about now? It's okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay, so first of all, I want to introduce my company. Emilia said something about us before, but I want to underline and a special success that my company reached this year a couple of days ago, because we are a company which was founded in the 2004. I am one of the founder of the company with my colleague, which is Franca Di Giovanni. And we are a company which are consultant. We are consultant, and we have a laboratory for industry, in the food industry or ambient environment industry. We believe a lot in the networking of for the company. We think that it's very important to grow up and to reach our goals. I told you before of our last success because in October we obtain a certification for the gender parity. According to the goal of 30 of the 2030 agenda, we obtain our certification, which is recognized now in Italy by Accredia, which is the accreditation company, accreditation body, with Buona Veritas. So I would like to share with you these success because I think it's very important to recognize the gender parity in our company. Then I want to tell you how and when BioLeader, my company, met APID. I know APID from it's not a long time as Serena. We met APID in 2018 because we are API company associated. We are associated with API, and in 2018 we met APID because we joined with them, and APID supported us for two important projects that BioLeader at the time had. One was for the sorry for my English. I apologize for my English, is not so good. One was for digitalization of our laboratory process, and the other one was for improve our industrial accounting. So the first project in 2018, it was for digitalization. BioLeader need in the time a change because the work increased a lot. We had in the time more demanding from our customer in terms of efficiency. So they want to have our results, laboratory results, so our report in a few times, and we need also a reorganization because of increase of the number of the employees. We are a very little company. We are less than 10, but the increase of the number of the employees in that period was very important. So this change that required the reduction of the time spent especially in the data transcription, even if the data transcription can also occur the error. So we have to do this data transcription very well and in less time. So now we have to optimize the data acquisition, and we have to review our management process. In that period, APID proposed to their company, associated company, a tender for women business, and the tender was the free mentoring project to start digitalization process in the company. So it was what BioLeader needed. It was a very lucky for us. It was very lucky for us. BioLeader won the tender. BioLeader and another company won the tender, and for several months we were supported by a tutor, a digital tutor, who studied our processes. So he entered in the company to study our process and our software. What's the software that were used in the company. So he helped us to choose the right procedure, the right software to join to reach the goal. Nowadays, our company is a digitalized company, and all the processes are integrated with saving and reduction of transcription errors. So we do the same thing using less time and a less reduction of errors, which is very important when we give to our customer a report, which is very important for them because we analyze their products. The second project where we were supported by APID was the industrial accounting. After the period of COVID, after the war in Ukraine, when the war in Ukraine starts, when the increase of the cost of energy, which in Italy was very in height now before in respect of the past, we have an important increase of the cost, especially for the raw material used in the laboratory. We use especially, for example, plastic, and the cost now is very higher than the past. You know that I am a biologist, and also my colleague my partner is a biologist. A lot of our employees are technicians. They are biologists, agronomists, technologists. As I told you before, we are a small company, and we have only one accountant, only a person who manage our account. She is very competent, but she needs to acquire a higher level of skills for industrial accounting, which is our goal for this year. So again, as in 2018, APID suggests us a project, something we can help us. We start a training with a specialist for the business control, cost control, and we improve our skills. Nowadays, the same consultant or the same teacher who trained us in the beginning of 2020 is our consultant to complete with her support the process to industrial accounting. I think that the project will be completed by the end of 2022, maybe before, but sure by the end of 2022. So I finish to share with you that for us, APID, so the network with APID was very important, is very important for reviewing the two process I told you before. I think that without APID, we have not the same success because for three reasons. Because of the lack of time. As I told you, we are a very small company. And me and my partner and me and all of the technicians we are very operative. We have not a lot of time to support the project. The second reason was the lack of objectivity, because we are inside of the process. So maybe we can't see where the process has a problem. And the last one is lack of skills, digital and accounting. And in that part, APID support a lot of us, because now we have that skills. We are improved it, but we have that skills. So we have finished. I have finished. I have told you about my experience with APID. So if you have some question, I am here.
Thank you very much, Ombretta. Thank you. So we can see that the women entrepreneurs can really cooperate and can shape the benefits of the organizations that are working in the women entrepreneurship. This is such a good example, and I'm really happy that we have opportunity today to share on this webinar all this kind of experience. I will give now the floor to Yolima. Yolima, thank you very much for accepting this invitation and for being with us today. We will see the chat. If there is some question, we will ask all of the questions on the end of your presentation. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Emilia. Thank you. Good afternoon, morning. I'm not so sure anymore, but I'm going to share my screen. My presentation is about collaborative entrepreneurship and how women can thrive together. We use this model we have been using co-creation and now collaborative entrepreneurship for our organization as the fundamental pillar to grow. I will briefly talk about our organization. We are a social entrepreneurship community, kind of. It's in between, because in the Netherlands there is not a legal structure for social entrepreneurs yet. So we have to fit into one of the existent, and but basically all our activities and the revenue generated by them are reinvested in our community. We are mainly for creative entrepreneurs, but since we started, the concept has been changed. Now we have few men and many local women as well. We started at the end of 2018. So by now we have been operating for 4 years. And this was founded by 2 women, coincidentally both Colombian. That's in the picture is Sally and me. Sally is an architect and she arrived in the Netherlands way long before me. And when we met, we realized that we had to start a business as a way to enter in the labor market, because we are not Dutch, but there were many difficulties. We didn't speak the language. We didn't know anybody. We were good in our things, but not Sally, for example. I have my background in business, but Sally didn't. So we complement each other. Sally was very creative. She knows what to do, but the entrepreneurship was not fully developed in her yet. So we started working together in many things, and we realized that maybe that we can call more women, or maybe there are more women in our situation. And yes, that was the answer. We are based in Eindhoven in the Netherlands. That's a very particular place because it was named some time ago as the smartest square kilometer in Europe. Basically all the electronic appliances, the smartphones and smart cars and everything use microchips created by machines that are developed in this city. So the city has been attracted an incredible amount of high-skilled migrants, and mainly men. And with these men come women, the partners, and we found ourselves isolated, alienated, well, with multiple consequences in our mental health. After a while, now we have also migrant workers. That's happening in Europe, refugees. So the target group has been it has been diversified from what we started. How we do this? Well, the goal of our organization was basically empower women, these women who were not so sure about what to do after relocated. Of course, business growth, because that's the purpose, is that we together we kickstart our entrepreneurial journeys, and social cohesion. That's very important for us, using entrepreneurship as a way of entering not only the labor market, but the Dutch society. So we work in 4 areas. One is connection. For us, is fundamental to not only connect women with each other, with other entrepreneurs, but also with organizations, with the government, with the programs. We do support, and that's what Serena mentioned before. Very important is to give women entrepreneurs the proper skills to create their business. So we do a lot of webinars, a lot of workshops, talks, courses on business plan, business models, digital tools, marketing, branding, etc., etc. We do promotion. We found out that was one of the limitations for the women entrepreneurs, because when you are new in a place and you're starting your own business, it's very difficult to create awareness. Yeah, we all use social media, but it's not enough. So we work on that, and we use collaboration for all the projects we do. And together, of course, we achieve the goals we have. So International Creative Women have a little bit more now than 250 women entrepreneurs working together. They come from 40 nationalities, and that's a point that is very important for us, because making business with people from another background, another culture is challenging but enriching. So we have been learning to navigate that particularity. We have created 10 creative markets, which is a big event where 400, 500 people attend and meet these women entrepreneurs. So we create this awareness of the value of entrepreneurship and the support that women entrepreneurs deserve by making these markets. These markets also promotes society integration, so locals and internationals come together, spend time, know each other, diffusing the stereotypes that we can all have, and create a very inclusive society. We have at the moment complete 18 projects in all kind of niches and targeting groups. And just briefly, we as I mentioned before, we do multiple webinars and talks. These are one of the images in the markets where women can sell what they make or can promote their brands. And this is our office/shop, where more than 35 women can sell what they make. So together we can make it happen. And of course, connection. These women are not only colleagues in the entrepreneurship world, but they become friends and they become family, because we have left our support network and family behind. So this community has bring them not only knowledge, support, but also a social network. So let's go back to the collaborative entrepreneurship. And what is that? This is a concept that was appeared for the first time in about less than 20 years ago. It was by Miles and Snow study. They show the results based on a modelation of a situation. So it was not a real example. And they described finally as an organization who were composed by different business, and together they pursue a joint strategy and looking for continuous innovation. Then in 2013, it was defined by Franco and Haas as a creation of something of economical value, and the idea behind of sharing knowledge and information can help them to achieve. But later, I met online this wonderful woman, Cristina Constantinidis. She's in Canada, and she has done a lot of research on women entrepreneurship and women collaboration. And her definition is the one I love, because it's about the creation of something of value, which is, very important, can be a product, a service, or a business, or a project, based on jointly generated ideas, which emerge through the sharing of resources, joint responsibilities, and risk. And this is really the key, is about sharing the resources, because women entrepreneurs sometimes don't have it all, don't have all the knowledge, or don't have all the funding. But by sharing in the model of, for example, co-working spaces, that we don't have, everybody don't need to have an office, but we all can share the space, we can share the resources, lower the cost with all the positive consequences of that, but also joint responsibilities and the risk. Women are more afraid of taking risks and failure, and that has been shown by numerous studies. But by lowering the risk, we dare to do more. Or sharing the risk is less scary when we are together doing it. And maybe it doesn't work, but we are together and we can do it. So that's really nice. So why we need to collaborate? And that is basically because it increases the survival of micro and small businesses in particular. This business is one person business mainly, and that represents already many challenges. So when we are together, we can exchange services, we can lower the risk, we can complement knowledge. So it's really a good practice. So let's go by parts. When the the part of saving costs is really attractive for many of the members in our community, is because we have been implementing the model, and like I mentioned, Serena before, they work in so many different niches and they have so many different backgrounds that we can really complement each other. So we have accountants, but there are designers, there are web designers, graphic designers, there are the business developers. So instead of hiring somebody to outsource your services, we are changing. So like in the good old times where people exchange goods, we are exchanging now services, photographers in exchange for copywriting, and with that we save costs. We have co-working spaces, and of course, by sharing spaces, sharing knowledge, we can reduce the cost of starting our business. The second is empowering, and it's because is being together create this kind of sisterhood, where solidarity is a commodity, actually very valuable, and we are sharing core values. Very important that we agree on that, and this mainly trust, cooperation, and as being women, we understand each other very well. The barriers of handling childcare and the household, and that help us to create this sisterhood. We can be more competitive because we can offer a wider range of products and services together, and that can be offered a very good price to the consumers or to B2B when we are working together and create different services or products. And it's innovative because, as I mentioned before, we are a very diverse group, and that brings many minds together to work. And we have all kind of ages. The youngest is around 20, and we have women till the 80s. So it's very enriching. This is important. I will mention briefly what is important to start cooperating is that there is some kind of rules in there. The purpose has to be clear. The situation has to be win-win for all the parties. This is a key. The environment should be good for cooperation, where there is mutual respect and trust. And the process has to be, the collaboration has to be along the whole process, from the ideation to the execution. So we are as a community, but each business, each micro or a small business around us in this model is an individual entity. They maintain the rules, the independence, but together we become another one. So I'm going to give you some examples of how we do it. This is our office. It's in a beautiful street of Eindhoven, in the middle, in the heart of the city, and it's a co-creation center. So there is a place where women can come. It's an open house. There are women working there in their business. At the moment, we have a design studio, photography studio, and a fashion designer. The shop had 32 entrepreneurs selling. So they finally have a window shop, and there's a place also to learn, to meet, but for the others, they can meet clients because it's more professional, where you have a space where you meet the clients and not in your house and not in a coffee place. Together, we also have an e-commerce, and there is a fair. Is the biggest design fair in the Northern Europe. Is Dutch Design Week, and we have been 2 years consecutive participating in this week. Multiple women joined this project, and together we applied, together we were approved, and we are very happy with that. We also create Christmas packages for companies, and so each woman participates in the ideation, and we create multiple boxes of these to hundreds of consumers and companies, and the women participate in all the stages. And this is a nice project every year. We are looking forward. And yes, we have multiple projects, markets, that workshops or companies that are all co-created and executed together. And this was, we are very happy with this. This was during the COVID. We were 3 months online with daily activities, all for free. And in this project, 23 women participated to support people during quarantine, and 14 artists were creating hundreds of postcards to send to people in isolation to cheer them up. And this was really a beautiful project that helped many people, and we did it together. And this is the power of collaboration, not only for ourselves as entrepreneurs, but for society. So this is it. Thank you so much. Well, this is another pictures of the markets we create. The next one is in less than 1 month. And I finally want to mention that we read these quotes, but this is really true. If you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, do it together. And it's really what is happening. We are, in Instagram, in LinkedIn. This is our website. And we are also on Facebook. It's very easy, International Creative Women. And you can find us there, and feel free to contact us. Thank you so much, Emilia. It's a pleasure and an honor to be sharing these stories with so many interesting people.
Thank you very much, Yolima. I enjoyed a lot hearing all of you. You have so many things to share. You have so many things to say. So I'm really sure that our participants will get inspired and they will get motivated. Even though that we had a short limitation of time, I'm sure that they will contact you and write some questions. I will share as well the presentation, if that is okay for you, with them. So we can get even more people that are going to go through all of the stories that you have been walking to. In the meanwhile, we received one question from the participants in the Q&A chat. So the question it is, what the panelists faced most as a challenge in their beginning of starting a business? Serena, would you like to start first answering this?
This is a tricky question. Mainly because for what concerned myself, I have not really established the business because I'm the 3rd generation. But my big challenge is to continue. You know, I don't know if in Macedonia there is this way of saying, but in Italy, we used to say that the 1st generation built up the company, the 2nd generation grow up the company, and the 3rd generation destroy it. So I don't, when I introduce myself, I rarely say that with my sister, I am the 3rd generation. I used to say I'm the 2nd generation +1 because I want to bring good luck to myself and my sister. Having said that, the big challenge for me is to combine what my family has been able to do in almost 70 years of business. And it's actually a big responsibility. But on the other side, I need to reinvent our business. My big challenge will be to continue to do my business, but in a way that the present market can be able to understand it and can be able to welcome it. And actually, this means that probably we don't need to change a lot, but we need to change something that I'm still working on, honestly. So the big challenge is to continue to be aware, to continue to be in love with what you are doing, and to be very, very wise. Because mainly in this moment in time, it's very important to be rational, to do good calculation, to be surrounded by good consultants in terms of people that is able to help you and give you the right advice. But the challenge probably is to keep going, smiling, to keep going in doing your business, taking the risks, and to still have fun and to still have a vision of that. And believe me that being an entrepreneur in this moment in time is not something easy. So that's why it's important to have a support.
Thank you very much. Humbreta, what will be your answer to this?
You know, we are a new company. We are the first generation. We hope we have a second one or a third one as Serena, but we don't know now. The bigger problem we found was to find the financial support, especially in relation with the bank, with the banks. We have not at that moment. We had not a credibility on the market. We have unknown, and so we have to find to found a relation with the banks. So I think that was the first problem, the bigger problem. But I remember, maybe Serena can help me, that APID, for example, has now started a new project to support the new company. Serena, I think it's started this year, that this project with some of us of the APID company associated, that which can support the new company to find the road because sometimes the company can know how to start a company. Maybe they have the idea, they have the project, but when we have a practice something which is very practiced to do, we can do it. And so we have this new project. So I think this is very important in this project with APID.
Thank you. Yolima, what will be your answer to this?
Oops. Oh.
You're muted, Yolima.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
good. Well, in particular, my latest situation is that I arrived in the Netherlands, so the difficult part was to navigating into unknown system because I don't know the law and the rules and the language, so that was challenging. But if I think broadly as starting a business, because I have done it before in other countries, I think is the misconception that an entrepreneur has to do it all. Like, you're starting a business and it's a one-person business or maybe two, and then you have to create all by yourself. And that is a misconception that can limit yourself a lot. So that now world is changing fastly, and there are multiple digital tools that that you need to be able to let go and outsource what you can outsource, hire what you can hire, and focus on what you're good at it. It's important to learn, of course, as Serena mentioned before, you need to understand what these consultants or employees are telling you about. But it's not that you have to do this all, the multiple heads, entrepreneur, and all these theories are changing. And we should be more open to be more open. So that I think it was my challenge before, that I felt I have to do it all by myself, and yeah, that can lead to burnout. But fortunately, that is changing. Yeah.
We see that we inspire the participants to ask questions. We have two more questions, so if we can answer to them. We have a participant that's stating, I want to start my company. I have the idea and the vision, but I struggle with financial business plan. How to write it? How did you do that? Maybe you can consult this from the experience of your organizations or from your own experience. What do you think? Let's start with Serena again first.
I think that, for example, I am a philosopher. I've been studying philosophy. So this means that I'm not really familiar with mathematics. And this is a gap. But it's a gap that is not possible for me to fill in completely. So what I'm doing is to try to participate, because as Ombretta said, we are also a small company too. So it's not, and we are all very doing our own business. So I'm not delegating my business to somebody else. So I don't have a lot of time to devote to training courses or to devote to upskill my competencies. And the financial aspects are very delicate. And if you don't have a background, it's not very easy to fill the gap completely. So what I'm doing, well, if you need to start a business, if I think about, for example, Torino, we have here, founded by the Chamber of Commerce, an office that is dealing with new startup, new business, that they want to start a new business. And they are doing consultancy also in the financial aspect. So they starting from a business model canvas, for example, that is a template that normally is used to be more focused and have more clear idea of which is your value proposition, which are your activities that you want to do, which are the costs you need to face, and which are the economic sources that you have in order to face those costs. So there are some logic steps that needs to be followed. So when you have a very clear idea, this means that you have to write it down very clearly in few words. And the business model canvas, in my opinion, is a very useful tool. And then there is the business model, the business, I mean, the budget itself, the business plan. And to do the business plan, it's very needed to have financial background. So if you don't have it, it's not a problem. You need to ask help. For example, in Torino, the Office of the Chamber of Commerce dealing with the new startup, they are helping new entrepreneurs to fill in this business plan. The business plan is fundamental to go then to the bank to be sure that your is a bankable project. And if it's not a bankable project, it's not a big problem. There are also other possibilities of financial sources, starting from business angel to the crowdfunding to voucher financed by your region. But again, all this information, they are somewhere. There are people that knows this information. So the most important thing is to be connected, to know into which door you need to knock. Because then all the processes, they are, as I said, very logic. And it's very important to follow these very logical steps in order to be sure that you can start with the proper fit in the new business.
Thank you very much, Serena. I think that you covered it all. If Yolima and Ombretta wants to add maybe something, because I think that lots of things has been said. And Yolima, you wanted to?
Just to add, what is the purpose of the financial plan? Of course, it's important, but it's the type of financial plan. Is a financial plan for yourself, for the solid foundation of your business, or is a financial plan to look for funding? Because that's very different. There are different models. So if it's for the first one, yes, for sure, the Chamber of Commerce, organizations like us, like in each country, in each city, there must be somebody doing helping people to do this. But if it's for a funding, normally the banks have somebody who can help with this. They have templates, they have models, and then you can search. So it's not that every financial plan can use for different purposes. Sometimes it's very specific. So the question is, I'm doing it for the good of my business, for myself, or I'm doing it for searching for funding.
Thank you, Yolima.
I want to tell a thing. Sorry. In 2004, when in 2004, when we founded our company, in Turin, there was a wonderful service which is joined by the provincia, which is Torino, the city of Turin, which is not of the Chamber of Commerce, but it was a service which is very similar to the service I told you before, which APID started this year. Its name was Mettersi in Proprio, MIP, which is like start your company, start your business, and they help us a lot in drafting the business plan. As I told you before, we are two biologists, and so we have a lot of problem with the number, with the count, and with the count, and so they help us, and not only to write, to draft the business plans, but also they accompanied us for 3 years after the foundation of the company. And it was very, very important, the 3 years, because they helped us to change our direction when the direction was not the one we decided at the beginning. And so it was very, very important for us.
Thank you. I really hope that all those answers are going to motivate our participants and inspire them. I would like to finish this webinar with the last question that we got, because I think it's really important and we are all curious to see. So the last question, okay, so shall we change the questions? Because now we received another one. Okay, first we will answer, is there international grants for small business? And then we will answer the last question. And in that way, we will finish the webinar. So is there any international grants for small businesses? Do you have some kind of grants to share with the participants? Serena?
I really don't know.
Honestly, and me too. Honestly, I don't know.
No.
Because probably there are, but it depends from the business sector. It depends grants for the country, for what. So it's a question that needs an answer, but I'm not able to answer properly.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Me neither.
We will finish the webinar with the last question, which is really interesting one. One participant said, how do you balance life and work? So this is something that we are all struggling. This is something we are all trying to fit in. I'm really curious to see how you will answer to this, and then maybe discuss further about possibilities that we can support each other. Serena, would you like to go first?
Having my sister as my partner here, we both know that sometimes we need to be elastic. So we help each other. But this is actually a lucky point, because probably working for another company that is not your working company, it might be harder to justify why you have to leave the business earlier or why you have to arrive later. Me personally, I run a lot. Run from one part to the other of the city, trying my best to do everything. Because actually there are not yet, at least in Italy, a proper support for women, for working women. Because, for example, the kindergarten, they are closing earlier. And if you want to go to pick your children later, you have to pay a lot. So sometimes it's not worthy to pay that amount of money and to continue to work. So that might be the reason for many women that they leave their job. So I think that at least in Italy, there is a lot to do. There is a lot to do. Something is going on. We are improving, but the way to do something proper is very, very long.
Mm-hmm. Ombretta, what will be your answer to this?
But first of all, I have to tell you that before founding BioLeader, I was an employee. So I worked for a company, and I was not so happy. Not only for the company, which was a wonderful company, an international company in food, but because of lack of freedom. I can decide on my time. Now I can do it. I can organize my day. as Serena, do a lot of things. I think sport is very important for my health, mental health. I think a lot while I run, but I think that the most important thing is that I love very much my job. So I can stop, I can organize my day plan. I can stop sometime during the day, and I can work in the evening. It's not a problem for me. That I think it's very important to have a good partnership, not only in the work, but also in the life. But as Serena, I have a wonderful partner on my job. My partner is it's very important to share also the organization of our private life, because we share our problem and we share our success. So it is a fundamental thing.
Thank you. Yolima, you have the honor to close this.
Yeah, well, I also am very lucky to have a wonderful partner. We understand each other a lot, but I think the key is plan your days, plan your hours, plan your weeks, plan your goal, your year. That's the key to manage it. And don't feel guilty about it. So when you are working, don't feel guilty about leaving your home and your family members. And when you are with them, don't feel guilty to not be working. That's really the key. I have been in the past, like a label, a name, you're a bad mother because I have to work a lot. But then my business was blooming. Then I feel good, but no, but it's never 100% good. And that's okay. And that's okay. Be 100% great mom, great partner, great wife, and then leave it and go to your business and be 100%. But don't feel guilty of not being in all places every time. This is what we have to do, and enjoy these 10 minutes with the dinner with my son, because some days I really see him, for example, only 10 minutes. Enjoy it, embrace and listen fully, and that's it. That's the best you can do. So it's a challenge for women. It's a challenge. In our office, we have women attending the talks and the meetings, the trainings, breastfeeding, but because they don't have anybody else to leave the child. So they come with their babies and breastfeed while they are learning to do financial plans. They come with the girls to the events, and we have a room where they can all paint there and stay there while the moms can try to do their best. So it's really enjoy these moments and embrace it, and don't feel guilty. That's my last message for all brave women entrepreneurs.
Thank you very, very much. I think that these question arrived like a strawberry on the cake. So it's really nice ending of this webinar. I enjoyed truly a lot. I'm sure that our participants enjoyed with your stories. I would like to thank you very much for this, for taking this invitation and for participating. I will leave you now your time on your obligations, and I will switch now in Macedonian just for a short presentation for our participants to share what we are doing as a platform, how they can support us, how they can reach us. Thank you, ladies, a lot. I really appreciate all of your effort, and I'm sure we will stay in touch for the further things. Драги учесници, сега ќе се префрлам на македонски. Имам уште мала кратка презентација за да ве запознам со тоа што ние го правиме како платформа и можеби на некој начин да ве заинтересирам доколку сакате, нели, да се вклучите во нашите активности. Како национална платформа може да ги забележите логоата долу, значи формирани сме од Сдружение на бизнис жени, Фондација за менеджмент и индустријско истражување и Сојузот на стопански комори на Македонија. Нашата веб страна ја споделив во чет, меѓутоа може да ја најдете како weplatform.mk. Она што ние го правиме е одржуваме многу добри конекции со сите стейкхолдери, со сите заинтересирани страни. Тоа значи дека на почетокот одржавме работни состаноци за креирање на платформата со веќе постоечката платформа за женско претприемништво и Националниот совет за женско претприемништво. Креиравме совет на Националната платформа во кој што членуваат различни организации кои што постојано го следат она што го работиме. Постојано работиме со тематски групи. Првата тематска група ни беше на тема политики и програми за женското претприемништво, од која што ни излезе и овој прекрасен инфографик. Такви инфографици ќе бидат произлезени од другите тематски групи на кои што работиме, со тоа што може да видите дека целосно ги опфаќаме предизвиците и проблемите со кои што се соочуваат жените претприемачи во оваа поле, меѓутоа и истовремено работиме на тоа што можеме да променеме. Кога започнавме со креирањето на платформата, ги вклучивме сите стейкхолдери, тоа значи дека ги викнавме основачите на платформата, министрите, високите представници на Европската унија, дипломатите, представниците од невладиниот сектор и бизнис заедницата, бидејќи сметавме дека е доста битно да се разговара на оваа тема и дека самото креирање ќе допринесе за така да не лутаме од место на место да бараме информации за женското претприемништво, туку сите податоци и информации ќе можеме да ги најдеме од една рака. Продолживме понатаму со креирање на втора тематска група. Она што вас ви интересира е пристапот до финансии. Тоа што можам да ви кажам е дека би било добро да ја отворите нашата веб страна, ќе го најдете новиот инфографик кој што точно зборува за пристапот до финансии. Таму можеби ќе се инспирирате и на некој начин да дојдете до некои линкови, до некои податоци за тоа каде се може да барате финансиски средства, што беше поставено и како дел од прашањето. Да бидеме успешни во она што го правиме, ние имаме советодавен одбор. Тоа значи дека во нашиот советодавен одбор членуваат лица од академскиот сектор, од медијата, потоа имаме представници и од министерствата, потоа имаме од финансискиот сектор, што значи дека ги вклучуваме сите битни стейкхолдери кои што на некој начин ни помагаат, ни даваат насоки и не советуваат во она на кое што треба да обрнеме внимание. Покрај тематските групи ние креираме и секторски групи. Првата секторска група беше жените во руралните средини. Од самата оваа секторска група произлезе првиот документ за јавни политики, во кој што може да ги видите и препораките. Документот исто така е објавен на нашиот вебсайт, каде што може ќе прочитате повеќе информации. Втората секторска група ни беше на тема дигитализација, која што е перспектива за женско претприемништво. Може да забележите миксот од одржување онлайн средби во претходните групи, сега веќе короната не беше толку актуелна, па можевме и да се видиме во живо. Исто така и тој документ за кратки политики објавен на нашата страна, ќе може да прочитате повеќе за тоа. Сите напрашуваат како стигнуваме до информации до жените претприемачки преку барометар, односно тоа е еден вид на анкета која што ја споделуваме секоја година до жените претприемачки, на тој начин подоцна ги добиваме препораките, со кои што се упатуваме до сите релевантни институции, каде што наведуваме што е тоа што го имаат жените претприемачки, меѓутоа на што треба повеќе да работиме. Она на што сме многу горди се самитите за женско претприемништво кои што ги организираме секоја година. Ова е самитот од минатата година, доделуваме и награди за најуспешни претприемачки, а ова се фотографии од самитот кој што го одржавме оваа година. Ова се и наградените, тоа значи дека одржуваме еден вид на самит во кој што му даваме можност на сите претприемачки да бидат дел, да се запознаат, да се нетворкуваат, меѓутоа имаме и различни панели каде што дискутираме за битните теми кои што се во тој момент. Сигурно се прашувате како постигнуваме на секаде на ниво на Македонија, затоа ги имаме локалните хабови, ги имаме нашите координаторки кои што работат во сите 8 плански региони. Тоа значи дека тие на некој начин успеваат да стигнат до секој градоначалник, до секоја институција, да ги споделат сите наши информации, така да доколку имате потреба за да побарате некој мислење или ви треба информација, би ве охрабрила да не контактирате за да ви дадеме контакт од нашите координаторки, како би можеле да добиете повеќе информации за тоа. Дека работиме многу, тоа покажува и обуките за застапување. Вклучени сме во полето на едукација и на граѓанските организации. Ова е дел од тренингот, од тренинзите кои што се одржаа, каде што работевме на тема за застапување и обука на политики за граѓански организации. Одржавме многу голем дел на состаноци, тоа се со градоначалниците, се со цел бидејќи знаеме дека овој проект ќе заврши, меѓутоа потребно ни е да имаме одржливост, па преку овие средби и со потпишување на овие декларации успеавме да стигнеме до креирање на совети за женско претприемништво. Тоа значи дека во голем дел од вашите општини ние веќе подпишавме декларации, меѓутоа и формиравме совети, така да се надеваме дека наскоро ќе биде одвоен и посебен буџет каде што жените претприемачки од сите региони на ниво на Македонија ќе може да си аплицираат. Ова се голем дел од различни средби, бидејќи покрај со градоначалниците одржувавме средби и со советниците и представниците од совет на локално ниво. Покрај тоа што подпишуваме декларации, ние воедно организиравме неколку форуми. Значи, како што може да погледнете на слайдовите, тоа се различни теми и се со цел за да стигнеме до тој регион, до потребите на жените претприемачки кои што се во тој регион. Значи, некои од темите беа достигнување можности и потенцијали за развој на женско претприемништво во Велес, улогата на жените претприемачи во развојот на туризмот во Охрид, можности пристап до финансии, битен фактор за женско претприемништво во Кочани и така натаму. Она што сигурно ве засега сите е што понатаму, до овде организиравме голем дел на активности, меѓутоа што е тоа што ни предследи? Би ве охрабрила да се вклучите во сите активности кои што имаме, значи ќе имаме уште еден самит кој што ќе биде наредна година во ноември, бидејќи сакаме да го прославиме денот на женско претприемништво, па секоја година правиме самити во ноември месец. Ние сме меѓународно присутни, тоа го потврдуваат и нашето членување во ФЦМ и во Вигейт, значи ве охрабрувам доколку сакате може да ги отворите и овие две веб страни, каде што ќе може да си направите вмрежување со жените претприемачки, организациите за женско претприемништво, кои што работат на европско ниво. Ние останува креирањето уште на две групи наредна година, тоа ќе биде една секторска, една тематска група, доколку го следите нашиот сајт, ќе може да се приклучите во некоја од тие групи. Нашиот тим присуствуваше на големиот самит на Вигейт, кој што се одржа во Брисел оваа година, така да постојано сме рамо до рамо со колегите од таму, каде што може да ги разменуваме најдобрите практики и да видиме што е тоа што може да ни помогне нас. Останува да организираме уште два вебинари. Ќе имаме активности за онлайн учење преку врсници и она кое што веројатно би било интересно е тоа што ќе правиме студиски посети во различни држави, тоа значи дека ќе имаме можност за вмрежување. Ве повикувам со последниот слайд да ги заследите нашата веб платформа, да не најдете на социјалните медиуми каде што сме доста активни, да го проследите нашиот радио, нашиот YouTube канал, да ја спуштите нашата бесплатна мобилна апликација Ви Асистент и секако да се зачлените за да добивате информации на нашиот билтен. Бидејќи споделив дека имаме радио, ја користам и оваа можност да ве поканам, доколку сакате да бидете дел од нашето радио, да ни пишете, слободно може да пишете кај мене на мејл, ние ќе ве контактираме, нашиот комуникацијски офицер ќе ви постави прашања и подоцна нели ќе промовираме успешно вашата пракса и тоа што имате да го споделите со другите. Мислам дека бевме доста концизни и точни на време, значи сега завршуваме со овој вебинар, меѓутоа она што ве охрабрувам е дека ќе имаме уште два други вебинари, се надевам дека уживавте со нашите гости и ќе имате можност да проследите уште неколку други пракси кои што ќе бидат наредниот период. Она што јас можам да ви го ветам е дека ние ќе останеме блиску до вас преку нашите активни канали за комуникација, а воедно и би сакала да ви посакам убава работна недела и секако дека би сакала да ве видам на некој од нашите настани. Имајте убав ден и се гледаме наскоро.